Well, we did it. We made it through 3 days of filming on my short film, Flea, and this is going into day 4. We actually got a little bit of rest the night before, and I think we're starting this day at like 10 or 11, which was better than some of the other days. I was really excited about this day because we were doing basically the opening sequence of the film, the first time you meet the protagonist. This is day 4. I'm gonna do a bunch of pickups. Basically a full other day tomorrow with not the whole crew. And now I'm moving another day somewhere. I just wish we had like 6 more days to shoot it, and we don't. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to shoot a short film. That's what I'll say. This scene was one of those scenes that I storyboarded every shot, and I wanted it to be a very specific thing, a very specific vibe, just like really big images. And so all these shots were these like really calculated, nice Dana dolly shots. You can see that we're using that here. We've got the Dana on some apple boxes, and then trying to discuss through exactly, you know, where is the line in this sequence. Even though I did storyboard it, we got to really make sure that we're not crossing the line, since we did do that on the first day. Luckily, we did have the boards for this though, so we knew exactly what we were going to shoot, which really makes things go fluid. And something else was really nice about this day from a cinematography standpoint was that we're shooting outside, so we're using mostly natural light. And when you're shooting in the winter, we're shooting this in November, you get that really nice, like, constant edge light all day. Like, the sun is low enough all day that you don't ever have to worry about that like kind of overhead summer look, and you're not competing with it. It makes it very simple to film outside during the winter. Shooting at T15, doing these pushes, Kelsey Miller, the first AC, just killing it on pulling focus. These are some of the hardest shots you can get. These shots were actually inspired by some of the IMAX shots from Interstellar, some of these like portrait shots that are in Interstellar. You can kind of see on the monitor there. And so we're just like razor thin depth of field, but Kelsey there just getting that focus.
We've been talking a lot about money on set, and I think that if you just divide your ISO by your Cine EI and multiply it by your shutter speed, that your daily income will probably equal more or less your white balance. There's a line in there.
That's a line.
How goes those live? Here.
If you want. Let's roll it.
Split.
Action! You know, the very first shots of the film are so important, and that's why I did really visualize this scene. I mean, the first impression you make with your character can kind of make or break how you feel about them. And so these shots were really important. We really just took our time to get them right, to get them perfect, and really set up the tone for the rest of the film. Action 2. Great, cut, moving on. Let's leave this place. I think Corey was not so excited that I had this one so much storyboarded. That was being very particular. But luckily, you know, the DP director relationship is one that deserves a hug every once in a while. You know, it's a collaboration. We have to find the middle ground. Thank you, Corey, for giving me so much grace on this project. We have moved locations at this point. We had to drive out in the country to get some driving shots. And Corey had this great idea of ending the window to really help with exposure. A lot of times you have a process trailer to do driving shots, and you have, you know, like sky panels in front to really light up the inside. Corey's approach is often to flip that to which is not something I would do as a DP, which is really cool to see how he would do it, how he's problem solving it. And he likes to rather just ND the windows and then try to light from inside and to adjust the exposure in that way. Because all cinematography is really just a problem solving, you know, it's a game, it's a puzzle. And I really like to see his approach to solving the same puzzles that I have to solve on set. Also very handy that our picture car was a metal van, an empty cargo van, because you could just mount lights anywhere. You know, you could put things wherever you needed to. We could clamp things on.
Here
it makes it a lot handier than your
Blue hour sunset is 5:37 to 5:47.
So an hour.
Golden hour is 4:42 to 5:37.
Oh, okay.
So we're officially in golden hour.
We were really chasing light in this scenario, which was fun initially. We were like really trying to get in this kind of golden hour look, once again being inspired by Interstellar, how the light hit the spaceship in Interstellar. This van is kind of acting as a spaceship in the film in a way. We were trying to lean into that, but what's funny about this, in the end, in order to make the story make the most sense, I had to do a day for night for these shots, which honestly, day for night wasn't that hard. You know, when you adjust your exposure in post and kind of give it that kind of nighttime look, it actually evens things out and makes the lighting look even more believable. It's kind of this weird thing. So yeah, we were chasing that golden hour the whole time, but then those golden hour shots didn't end up actually
feel
making
better if it went behind the van.
So in the opposite effect, the sun was going down now, and we needed some light here. So we were really rushing this setup here in the street. I had scouted this location. I had found the exact curve I wanted, and when we drove out there, we couldn't find that exact curve again. The Google pin was confusing, but the light was going away, so we just had to pick another corner and make it work on this road.
Anyway,
We were doing the whole scene in one take. For the sake of coverage and time, I didn't want to go in for coverage on close-ups on this because it just wasn't needed. I had planned the whole time basically for this shot just to be just a two shot, and because of that and because of the light going down, we needed to nail it. The actors needed to nail the scene, and so they would they would start into this scene. If they messed up a line or the timing was off, I would just cut them off to say back to one, let's go again, and just do it until we could get the shot perfect as a two shot.
It's a second thing that you don't really want to do.
Okay.
You really want to just tone to work, and now it's not working.
So Corey's pivoting the whole time. He's throwing up tube lights and diffusion, just opening up the ND, just the sun's going down, every 5 minutes the lighting is changing and we're pivoting. But what's really amazing is when you're doing this and you're just rushing to get the shot, and then when the actors get their lines perfect, get their dialogue perfect, get their mannerisms perfect, and all of that just comes together, it is the most satisfying part of narrative filmmaking and being on set, in my opinion. When you see two actors just nail a scene and come together and just believe every moment of it, it is so satisfying, and that is something I learned on this project. Seeing that come together was something that I now really look forward to on future projects. Initially, we had another location scheduled for this day, but at this point, and we have been working so hard, I just said to the crew, let's just can the last location today and let's all go home and get some rest and just, give the crew some time to themselves because they've been working so hard on this production. Okay, so that's all the principal days done for Flea. The next day I had to do some pickup shots, and then I've done a lot more pickup shots since then. But those were the 4 full days with full crew that we had planned. But the first 4 full days of production were done, not including that pickup day that you saw in the previous episode. We came back for a full other night to get some stuff. But that's kind of how these productions work. You get everything in the edit, you look at everything, you make sure that there's not anything missing from the edit, and then if there is, you can go back and get that later, which I did on multiple occasions before finishing the film. But there will be some more content coming up over the film because we're not done here. Actually, I would love to do a video with Corey, the DP, and break down a few shots from the film, actually show you a few shots from the film because I know no one's really got to see those yet. Just so you know, the film is being submitted to film festivals, and that is why I haven't been able to show much footage. I don't want to put too much of it online. There's rules around that with the festivals, and so that's why I haven't been able to put the film online yet either, because it's also not done quite yet. The edit is done, but there's still a lot more that needs to be done with it, so I'm not able to show that to you yet, but hopefully in the future I will be able to. Or maybe if it gets into some festivals, you can come see the film for yourself on the big screen at a festival. But yes, coming up, hopefully Corey and I can sit down and talk about some shots and make a video over that. So stay tuned for that, or subscribe to the channel if you're not already, so you can check those out soon. And before we go, I would love to talk about the sponsor of this video, which is Squarespace. Now, Squarespace is an all-in-one platform to present your work online. If you're a cinematographer or a photographer, you're looking for a place to put your portfolio online, Squarespace is the place to do that. It just makes it so easy. You know, you could just use one of their pre-existing award-winning templates to get going or build a website from scratch. But either way, the tools are so easy to get that job done. They've actually updated their system recently, and you can actually use this kind of snap grid system where you can just move things around on a page and align it and design it however you want. It just gives you the total freedom to design a page that best represents you and your style and your work. You can obviously embed videos on the page from any site like Vimeo or YouTube, which just makes it seamless to be able to upload your content and show it off online. So if you're anything like me and you need to present your work online, well, you can just do that with Squarespace. Click the link in the description to get 10% off, and I want to thank Squarespace for sponsoring this video.